Autophagy always gets the glamorous role in health discussions, like the unsung hero working tirelessly in the shadows to keep your cells fresh, clean, and efficient. It's the biological equivalent of recycling day. Old proteins are broken down, faulty mitochondria are tossed into the cellular dumpster, and everything is polished for a healthier future. This marvelous process, however, tends to thrive when you're fasting, particularly in the quiet hours of the morning when you haven't eaten yet. But then comes breakfast, steaming with eggs, yogurt, or maybe even a protein shake, and autophagy suddenly steps aside. The janitors put down their brooms, while the body cheerfully gets to work digesting and distributing shiny new amino acids for muscles to repair and grow. The contradiction is almost too good. Your body has to choose between polishing its cellular engines or stocking the shelves with building blocks for muscle health. Science makes the situation even more interesting. On the one hand, fasting and autophagy are linked to long-term benefits like reduced risk of age-related disease and improved cellular resilience. On the other, breakfast rich in protein is directly tied to muscle maintenance, especially as we age. Muscles are greedy tissues. They need a steady supply of amino acids to prevent breakdown and support strength. Skipping breakfast may keep autophagy humming a little longer, but it also leaves your muscles waiting like kids at a cafeteria line, grumbling that the food truck hasn't arrived yet. If you're young and active, you might tolerate that delay and even thrive on the fasting-driven cellular repairs. If you're older or trying to preserve muscle mass, breakfast may actually become more critical because protein synthesis slows with age and your muscles don't respond as robustly if you starve them until noon. This tension creates a comical tug-of-war inside the body. Picture autophagy as a meticulous janitor sweeping up debris in the gym, while breakfast storms in with a megaphone shouting, "Protein delivery for the biceps." The janitor scowls, muttering about longevity, but the muscles are already cheering and flexing, happily soaking up the amino acids. It's not that one is wrong, it's just that they operate on different schedules. The body is clever enough to know that sometimes it needs long-term housekeeping, other times it needs to feed the power plants that keep you upright and moving. And let's face it, a perfectly polished cell isn't very useful if the muscles it powers are shrinking from neglect. There's also nuance in the science of protein timing. Research shows that muscle protein synthesis is most effective when amino acids are spread across the day, starting in the morning. A high-protein breakfast, say, eggs and Greek yogurt, can give muscle fibers the signal to repair and grow right away, rather than waiting until lunch. Meanwhile, autophagy doesn't vanish into thin air when you eat. It simply pauses, only to resume when nutrients drop again. This means that you don't have to treat autophagy like a fragile butterfly that dies at the first bite of oatmeal. It's more like a diligent employee who takes a coffee break whenever food shows up, then goes right back to work later. The real trick then is balance. Athletes, bodybuilders, and older adults may prioritize breakfast protein to preserve muscle strength and ward off sarcopenia, while those focused on longevity might delay the meal to let autophagy sweep up the cellular mess. Some people experiment with a hybrid approach, eating a small, protein-focused breakfast that fuels muscles without overwhelming the system, then allowing longer fasting periods later in the day. Others cycle their routines, some mornings dedicated to fasting and autophagy, others to protein and performance. The human body is surprisingly forgiving. It doesn't collapse if you lean one way or the other. And in the end, this contradiction is more funny than worrisome. Your cells are basically trying to run both a gym and a recycling plant at the same time, and they occasionally bicker about priorities. Autophagy wants a quiet fast to fix the machinery, while breakfast barges in with protein to pump up the muscles. Both have valid points. What's great is that you can enjoy the benefits of each depending on the day, the mood, or the needs of your body. Sometimes you give your cells their quiet janitor time. Sometimes you treat your muscles to a protein buffet. Either way, you're winning something, either stronger biceps or shinier mitochondria. And if you're really clever, you can laugh at the whole contradiction while eating an omelet and reminding yourself that autophagy will still be there later, ready to grab its broom once the kitchen closes.